Good morning. I'm Doug Newton, and my company is Your Better Office, and I have a full-service office furniture company. And I sell pretty much anything that you want. I sell desks and chairs and files and all kinds of stuff. This is going to do a couple things today. I'm going to just kind of go through a brief synopsis of what my company does and why I'm different, I think, from other companies. And then I'm going to go and show you a couple of special things I brought with you. One, a kind of a real cool chair and a sit-stand table. Explain why it's important to get your chair adjusted properly or have a good chair. And there's a flyer I'm sending around that talks about adjusting your chair for what you should have. And then I'll talk about the advantages of a sit-stand table too. So I've been in this industry a lot of years, and I've gotten a lot of experience, and I've decided about 8 years ago that I would close my warehouse and my showroom and not have all my outside salespeople and all the accounting people and all that kind of stuff, and do what I really like to do, which is talk with people and help them to make the buying experience of office furniture as painless as possible. So I have what they call a contract dealership. When a customer wants to talk with me about office furniture, I go to their office, I talk to them, I work with them to figure out what is the best layout for their office and help them design the layout if they wish. No charge for that at all. Then I sit down with them and just determine what the job is that they're trying to accomplish with this furniture and help them to get the best furniture for that particular job. And I sell only quality office quality furniture, and I sell it all at discount prices. So you can get good quality product, but you don't have to pay top dollar for it. And it kind of works out quite well that way. I've been working with a lot of people about ergonomics and ergonomic properties, and I've really learned that it's extremely important for everybody to be aware of the ergonomics of their office, whether it's a home office or a office. And it's becoming more important because as we all become more tethered to our computers, we tend to sit a lot longer, and the more you sit, the worse it is for you. And they've done a lot of studies and determined that if you sit more than a couple hours a day, some pretty nasty things start to happen to your body. And on that one of these handouts I had, it tells about what happens to you if you sit more than a couple hours. Your cholesterol goes up, and your enzymes go down, and it's just really, and your chances of getting cardiac problems goes up about 25%. So there's a lot of things that are really important. And so I'm trying to help train people how to buy the correct furniture that will make their office more ergonomic. Now everybody talks about ergonomics, and they say, this is ergonomic and this is not ergonomic. And does anybody have a definition of ergonomics?
Expensive.
Expensive? No. It can be expensive if you don't get it.
Yeah, that was the right answer.
Postural alignment.
That's a good part of it, certainly. The dictionary says, and not always right, but ergonomics is the study of relationships between individuals and their work or working environment, especially with regards to fitting jobs to the needs and abilities of workers. And the essential nature of ergonomics is the convergence of the disciplines of human biology, anatomy, physiology, and psychology on the problems of man or woman at work. And it's really important for us to provide a work environment to support your body and to help prevent injuries. So what I do with people is when somebody says, I've got a problem, maybe we've furnished their office and they have the office desks, and or they're maybe not doing that, they're getting ready to buy office desks. And that's a good time to maybe consider, in some cases, getting a sit-stand table. What I do is I go through and I figure out with them, when they're buying chairs, what the people that are going to sit in the chairs are doing. Now, if they're an outside salesperson, you really truly don't need a $600 or $700 chair. You probably need a folding chair or something to get them out of the office as quickly as possible. But if they're going to be sitting at their desk 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 hours a day working on data entry, or they're sitting at a desk as a receptionist for a long period of time, you need to have a chair that's going to give them proper support. And it needs to have a lot of elements that need to come together. And one chair is not necessarily the best chair for everybody. That's why a lot of these manufacturers that I deal with have 20 or 30 different chairs, various different sizes, various different functions that will do the job best for a particular person. When Frank was buying a chair, he fortunately bought a very good chair. It's not as full-blown as a lot of chairs, but it has a lot of good features on it. It has a comfortable seat, it's adjustable in depth, and a lot of things. So you did a very good job of picking the correct chair. As an example, I'll start with this chair just to give you some ideas of what they are, and you might go along with the brochure that I gave you. When you're picking out a chair, there's a number of aspects that you have to look at. First of all, you need a chair that basically fits your size. If you're very tall and you get a very small chair that has a low back, it may not properly support you. Or if you have short, stubby legs like I do, you can't have a really deep seat. Now, a lot of these companies, this chair is an example, you can change a lot of those aspects. The backs go up and down, they're adjustable. The seats on this chair will go in and out, so you can actually change the depth of the seat. So that when you're sitting in the chair, you can sit all the way back in the chair and your legs can be flat on the ground, and you're not going to hit the back of your knees and cause compression, which cuts the circulation off. This is a little deep for me at the moment. This particular chair has a bigger seat than normal, and it would not work for me. You also want to be able to have back support. You need to have your lumbar support supported by the chair, so that when you're sitting, you should be sitting with your legs relatively parallel to the ground, your feet flat on the floor, and then you can adjust the back in and out so that it will give you support as you're sitting there, and it's not going to be pushing you out of the chair. You need to have a chair that can generally support you if you do lean back. This particular chair has this kind of a strange looking back that flexes as you move and supports you no matter which way you turn, which way you lean. And it's a very, very good chair in that respect. And you need to have a chair that can go up and down to the proper height. So if you have long legs, you're going to need to raise the chair up higher, obviously, so your legs can be parallel. And then you can work about where you're sitting at your desk. Desks, as a general rule, are about 29 inches high. That's kind of a standard height of a desk. And if you happen to be tall enough that when you're sitting with your legs flat, a 29-inch desk is right there. When you're working on your keyboard, you should have your arms at almost a 90-degree angle, less down about 2 or 3 degrees. And that's where you should actually have your keyboard. Now, if I'm sitting like this, that's where my keyboard should be. I can't put it on top of this. I could put a keyboard tray if you wish, or you could get a sit-stand table that will lower the keyboard height. And when you're working and you're doing paperwork, it should be a little higher, so you can actually raise it up a little bit. You have the correct height for this. The other thing that they've determined is that as you sit in your chair for more than an hour or 2 hours, your body begins to change and you start to have a lot of bad things happen to it. So what you should do is every hour or every 45 minutes, you should stand up, move around a little bit, do a couple exercises, walk around the office, take a short walk or whatever you want to do. And that will help you get your blood flowing and prevent you from having injuries that are caused by sitting too long. Most people don't do that. So they've determined that you can get a sit-stand desk. The other thing that happens is if you're taking a 5-minute walk, at the end of the day, you've lost half an hour, 45 minutes of work time. So instead of that, get a sit-stand desk, so you raise it to whatever height you need it to be, and you can do your work standing up, and you get all the advantages of doing an exercises or walking around the block, but you're still working. These now have presets so that you can actually set this particular height automatically. You push a button, it automatically goes up to this height. Hit another button, it automatically goes down to keyboard height, or it goes down to your sitting height. So you don't have to futz around with changing them all the time. And it can save you a lot of time, and it can save, if you have employees, it can very quickly, if somebody is having a problem, particularly having a problem with their back, you can save workers' comp costs, you can save injury to them, you can save people being absent because they're not feeling well, and the return on investment on a good chair and a good desk is pretty quick. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that with this new tax law, you're supposed to be able to write these things off in 1 year now. So it used to be 8 or 10 years or even longer than that for some things, but and I think they've made it so you can write them off very quickly. So if anybody has any questions on this, that's a real quick synopsis of what happened with this, but it's very, very important to consider your ergonomics. If anybody has any questions, I will be very happy to come answer questions, but I'll also come to your office, give you an ergonomic evaluation of your chair, find out if it's working properly for you. If it isn't, we can get you a new chair, or if you have a chair that is just a good chair but just not adjusted properly, I'll help you do that free also. So, yes, sir.
All right, now I already have a chair you sold me, it's great, but how much does the desk cost? How much does that chair cost?
Okay. This particular chair, as I said, there's a whole bunch of different variations of this one, but this one has a $750, I think, retail price, no, $652. I sell it for $439. Okay. Arms come, you can get arms, $80 additional, depending upon the arms. This table has a retail price of about $1,500, and I sell it for $725. So pretty discounted. Advantage of this particular table is something that we ran into with Judy, not because of the size, but because of the top that she had. She had a bevel top, and the bevel made it a little bit shorter, and the smallest bases that they normally had legs, and there's a cross piece that you can adjust so you can make it bigger. And when the bevel top came down, it took off 2 inches, and so that we had to cut the base down. It was not a fun time, but hopefully it's working well for you. Mm-hmm. And these particular ones now have individual legs that have the motors inside them, and then they're connected electronically, and you can go up and down and go any size you want. They're 36-inch wide, as an example. I have a 36-inch one on order for as a demo, just sort of carried around. So anyway, so they get all size tops, and you can change the size if you need it. Okay, see me later if you have any questions.